everybody, it's TR. It's time for another video. I thought, since they're still making them, still selling them, let's do a little rundown, not a deep dive, just a little rundown description on Squier Classic Vibe Telecaster 50s, the Blackguard edition. First things first, we got to get out of the way, is I've done some things to it. Of course, I've had it for a while. Of course, I've done some things to it. What do you think? Most recently, the saddles that come on here are steel, and they work fine. And I'm not enough of a cork sniffer to think that adding brass saddles is going to change the tone. The only far-fetched possibility I can get, not being a tone wood believer, is that the brass are non-magnetic and the steel ones are magnetic, and there is a magnetic field in this little area here, and maybe really far-fetched. I will tell you that the unplugged acoustic tone does sound a little nicer to me with the brass than it did with the steel, but your mileage may vary. Okay, what else I have in here is electronics. I was gifted some Lam Sam electronics, and I put them in here. So the switch that came in it, this is the Indonesian model. The switch that came in it had the mechanical switch like a regular Fender. I believe the ones made in China had PC board switch. This did have dime-sized pots, although they worked very well. They were very nice. I ditched them because I put the Lam Sam stuff in here. I think the made in China one had full-size pots. So, anyways, back to the small pots that came in it. They were solid shafts and went with the knobs on here, the nicely knurled knobs that have the set screw. And they were solid shaft tuners, but they were just, or tuners, potentiometers, but they were dime size. So, that's the changes. So let's talk about the guitar. It's got this very lacquered finish, which I'm not a super fan of. I know they do it to make it look old, and the reason I'm really not a super fan of it is I've got a little customization here. Because what did I do? Well, I was dressing my fret ends, and I wanted to roll my fingerboard slightly, which, you know, I knew would take some finish off. I didn't know it would take this much finish off. Okay, I had tape on here to protect. Tape to protect the fingerboard while I was working on the frets. And when I pulled the tape off, great big chunk of the finish flaked off with the tape. So, best speculation is when they sprayed it, there may have been some dust or something in that spot, and the finish didn't adhere good. It stuck to itself, so it stayed where it needed to be, but it didn't stick to the guitar. So that when I put the tape on the side of it and pulled it off, it released a piece of it. And I don't care, because I'm not going to relic it, but I'm certainly going to let it relic itself. It's got plenty of scratches and marks. If I were to tell you, I would tell you I hardly play this, but obviously I do, because it's got some signs of some wear on it. Can you hear my assistant? He showed up. We're doing a video here again. I know you like to come up and interrupt in the middle of them, right? Yeah. But unless you have something to offer, do you know about guitars? Probably not, right? No, you don't. He shook his head no. Here, do you want me to show you who's here? I'll show you who's here. Hold on, let me put my guitar down. He wants his presence known. Yeah, you do. You want to be on the video? This is Pharaoh. He is 16 years old. And in case you can't tell, he's huge. I'm 6'2" and I weigh 220 pounds. This guy's about 25 now. Maybe a little lighter in his old age. He might have slimmed down a little. But he's amazing. He is. He is truly amazing. He is my buddy. and my partner that helps with everything. Back to the guitar, Pharaoh. Pharaoh, like is in the Egyptian king. Yep, there's the pick. So, back to this. So that happened with a finish on there. And as I said, I don't care. So I have done the frets to the point where the edge of the board is rolled and they are so smooth and done perfect. There was one fret I had that popped up on me twice, that I hammered it down once and it showed its face again with humidity changes. We get big humidity changes here because I live right on the Canadian border in the top of New York State, and it gets really dry in the winter and really humid in the summer. So it is what it is. Going to run a dehumidifier this summer. Can't really run a humidifier because it's an old farmhouse with well water and there's so much minerals and calcium in it that it sends white dust to the house, which is probably not good to breathe. And don't say just buy distilled water, because to the tune of $1.50 a bottle, going through about 4 bottles of that a day, I'll let you do the math. So back to the guitar. Boy, I'm just wandering today, aren't I? It has these vintage style Squier tuners. They work okay. They're not the greatest ones I've ever had. And you know what? I have one of the paranormal series ones that look identical to this that work better than these do. So I don't know. Again, your mileage may vary. It's got a bone knot. Nice feature. I would say it's nicely cut. It's almost a little bit too low on the plain string side. But there's no rattles. There's no buzzes. Here we'll do without the volume turned up. Yeah, you're going to say that's buzzing a little, but that buzzes everywhere. That's the bridge. That's not. It's not buzzing at the nut. So it's perfect. It really plays nice. Frets. Did I level these? No, I didn't level them. I just dressed them. They didn't need any leveling. They just needed dressing. Because they were, again, you know, the temperature. Your mileage may vary there too. But it feels good now. It feels real good, and that's what you want. Electronics. These are the standard pickups. I mentioned what I did with the Lamb Sam thing there. Got my little rubber things to hold that on. And the body of this is pine. Not going to lie. It's a little bit of a boat anchor. I don't have a scale for weighing them. I can't tell you what it weighs. Some are heavier than others. The thing is, the originals were made of this. So this is kind of like a half replica of one without getting too particular. And that's why I put these brass saddles on. Because I just thought, you know, it needs to look the part. They're Wilkinson branded. They were $11 on Amazon. And I was going to do a video showing you how to install them, but it's actually pretty simple. I loosened up the strings, undid these screws, put the new ones in, tightened them down, put the strings back on, and then intonated it. And I did them one at a time so that I could get them really close to where the other ones were so that I wouldn't have far to go for my intonation. So, another just interesting thought. Where the truss rod adjustment is. You know the new standards that are coming out of Indonesia that the big debate is, oh, it's just a rebranded Squier with a Fender logo. No, it's not. It's a completely different guitar. I felt the neck and it feels different. I don't know. I don't have one. But they point out of how there is a walnut insert instead of plastic at the truss rod adjustment like the American Fenders have. And curious enough, check out the truss rod adjustment area on this one. I don't know. I don't care. I just like to play guitar, and that's what's important. And my partner likes it when I play guitar too, as long as I don't crank it up loud. If I crank it up loud, he's out of here. Play at a low volume, he loves it. He actually sings along, don't you? He does. So that's what I got to talk about today. I'll have some more stuff to ramble about in another day, but I think this has been long enough because who wants to sit and listen to me, right? So anyways, Classic Vibe, Indonesia, where the current ones are being made. And I'm not a telly guy, so this is kind of like my regular telly. I do have a humbucker decked out contemporary, but this is like my telly to have a telly. And I love it. Have a good one.